The history of PowerHouse Gym. In 1974, brothers William and Norman Davish started a small gym in the back of their father's corner store in Highland Park, Michigan.
We came up with the name PowerHouse. So we ordered equipment, put it in there. And our attitude was, if it doesn't work, we got the best private gym in the world. So we went either way.
PowerHouse Gym quickly became known as the place to train for serious bodybuilders and athletes. Mr. Olympia Samir Bannout, Ron Love, 8-time Miss Olympia Linda Murray, boxing champion Thomas Hitman Hearns, and many others called PowerHouse Gym their home. Will Davish was a champion in his own right, winning the Mr. America Light Heavyweight title in 1982. His bodybuilding ties helped develop relationships with the National Physique Committee and Weider's International Federation of Bodybuilding.
If you were serious about training, you had to go to this place called PowerHouse.
As the popularity of PowerHouse Gym began to grow, the brothers took their life savings and opened their second location in Farmington Hills, Michigan in 1984.
So I told my brother, let's open the gym in the suburbs for the suburban people. And everybody told us we were going to go out of business. So we opened the gym on 12 Mount Orchard Lake Road, and then we got our total investment back in 9 months.
The brothers opened their third location in Lincoln Park, Michigan shortly thereafter. It seemed that a powerhouse would be successful anywhere. In the early 1980s, Crystal Davish, Will and Norm's sister, started the PowerHouse Gym clothing line. Will's bodybuilding ties with Jim Mannion and the National Physique Committee led to an introduction to GNC stores, resulting in the retailer carrying PowerHouse clothing nationwide. In 1989, PowerHouse had 18 facilities and made the decision to host its first convention in Las Vegas. From 1990 to 1995, Will and Norm took advantage of the real estate recession to open over 50 corporate-owned locations in key markets to stimulate the opening of licensed locations in surrounding areas.
91 to 95, that was the building of the brand. That was the explosion. That's when we went from whatever was 18, 20 clubs to 170 clubs. That's where, I mean, that 5 years, to me, it seemed like just a week. It just was overnight. It was like 1990, then it was 95, and here we were. I told my brother we have to open billboard gyms. We open a gym that also acts as a billboard for our brand. What are you talking about? Like, for example, we opened a gym on Michigan Avenue in Chicago, right across the street from Fox Network. And Johnny decided the middle PowerHouse Gym. That club had 45,000 people a day that drive by it. So the exposure was incredible. So I told my brother, we break even, we're winning. And then we went to Huntington Beach. They get 3 million inland California people come to Huntington Beach every weekend. So we opened a gym in Huntington Beach, right on the ocean, with a big ass sign, PowerHouse Gym. And again, if we broke even, we won because we have a billboard and we're pushing the brand. And that was like how we, if you have confidence in your own brand, you can't expect someone else to. So we took high rent, high risk locations and opened successful clubs. So they gave regular guys, businessmen, more confidence to follow our path.
As the brothers expanded and learned lessons along the way, they were in a unique position to provide a functional template for others to follow. They decided on the licensing model, as that kept the monthly fees fixed and affordable, whereas a franchise model would charge a percentage of revenue. Licensing also allows gyms in different markets to have more control over the amenities offered, advertising, and decor that best appeal to the markets they are serving.
And with a licensed model, we're allowed to give our individual owners more flexibility. We call it corporate support without corporate mandates. So they're allowed to choose the equipment vendor that they want to use. They're allowed to have different color schemes. So there's not like a cookie cutter approach where we're saying this is what your powerhouse has to look like. We recommend you come see our locations here in Michigan and implement our best practices, but if you wanted to change things around to fit your market, you're free to do so.
The largest growth and development lately has occurred overseas, making PowerHouse Gym a true international powerhouse, establishing itself as one of the fastest growing and largest gym chains in the world. You can now find PowerHouse gyms in many countries in North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and Australia.
Well, I think the part of the advantage of PowerHouse is we're a network, so we're networking constantly with our owners in different markets all over the world. We're networking with our preferred vendors, and the preferred vendors, even like the equipment manufacturers, dealing with other companies as well, not just PowerHouse, obviously. So there's a lot of industry trends we keep a good pulse on. So we kind of see where it's coming maybe before or as it's getting popular, trying to be the first to implement those things.
One of the main benefits of PowerHouse Gym is the ability to network with other owners, corporate staff, preferred vendors, and industry contacts that allow best practices to be shared with one another.
My brothers and I, we had an interest in the gyms, working out at a young age. We're probably all trying to, catch up to my dad, who was a bodybuilder. We did martial arts when we were kids like he did. We started lifting weights, obviously, like he did. So we were in the gyms at a young age, maybe 13, 14 years old. And my older brother took an interest in working at a really young age. He was working at 15, 16 years old. So I kind of followed that path too. And we started at the bottom. We were cleaning up boys and janitorial type stuff. And then we started learning the front desk and reception and check-in type situation. Eventually learned sales and the back end. So we kind of learned our way up from the bottom to management positions at the club level. And all my brothers did that. We enjoyed the business, and we kind of just grew up in it, and we've stayed in it ever since.
The next generation of Davishes began opening locations and operating gyms in 2000. Will Davish would find a site, negotiate the lease, and finish the construction prior to handing it off to his sons for club operations. In 2010, a real estate broker told Will about an opportunity to take over a failing 70,000 square foot location in Novi, Michigan. Everyone tried talking Will out of signing the lease, as the previous owner had only 400 members after 1 year in business. He was told it would fail and could never work as a PowerHouse Gym, but Will ignored the critics and had confidence and belief in his brand.
You fail when you don't try. And you never find your purpose until you do try. I don't use the word failure in my vocabulary.
Will and his youngest son, Michael, took over operations in the fourth quarter of 2010 and grew the site to 4,000 members in their first year and 8,000 members by their second year operating as a PowerHouse Gym. The success and turnaround of this location paved the way for larger corporate-owned gyms. Will then secured a 52,000 square foot location with pool and basketball courts for William Jr. and Victor Davish to operate in 2018.
Corporately, we'd like to continue opening these larger locations, to maybe do one every year, every 2 years. We want to grow safely. We want to make sure everyone is a home run location that does well for us.
Fitness industry trends are constantly changing, with recent shifts toward traditional strength training gaining traction and making a comeback. The most powerful name in fitness is situated perfectly to take advantage of this shift.
We're finding a big influx of 18 to 34-year-olds that are really just want to lift, which is where our heritage started. We're building clubs that have a lot of these fancy amenities, and it seems like the deadlifting and the half racks and the squat racks and the Olympic benching is where it's at, it seems.
The first PowerHouse Gym still stands in its original location and celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2024. William and Norman's father emigrated to America, established the family with a small business corner store that set the stage for the brothers to start an international fitness empire.
My dad was forced to work in a job that you don't enjoy, but you have to.
Right.
I was blessed to work in something that basically created out of my passion.
The passion, work ethic, drive, and discipline that led Will Davish to become a bodybuilding champion also helped him launch a global fitness brand. Today, celebrities like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, UFC champion John Jones, Hall of Famer Alex Rodriguez, rapper 50 Cent, and many Mr. and Mrs. Olympia champions can be seen wearing PowerHouse Gym gear and training at a PowerHouse Gym. Bev Francis and Steve Weinberger's world-famous PowerHouse Gym in Syosset, New York, also known as the East Coast Mecca, keeps the brand finely in tune with its bodybuilding origins. From its humble beginnings in a 3,000 square foot facility, PowerHouse now has over 300 licensees in 18 countries with 1.2 million members worldwide. After 50 years, the PowerHouse brand name is stronger than ever. PowerHouse Gym, the strongest name in fitness.